Baseball is dead.
Rest in peace.
One of the biggest storylines of the entire year has taken place since our last recording. There's only one place that we can start this particular podcast.
Oakland, California.
The Oakland A's have reached double-digit wins on May 16th. The green and gold finally got into the win column of the double-digit variety. Dallas Braden, take us down the path of this road of what it took to get to 10 wins.
Well, I don't think I'm going to shock you when I tell you this. It quite literally took something to happen in baseball that has never happened before. Ever. In the history of everdom. Ryan Noda, young rookie stud. If you don't already note about him, you're going to note about him. You need to learn about him. Because Ryan, the unloada Noda, dropped a fucking bam! Grand slam. Rookie comes up to the dish, bags juice, need a knock. What's he do? He pumps one out of the fucking yard to tie the game.
Are you trying to become the John Sterling of the West Coast where you just have all these fucking horrible nicknames for your players?
Oh, that's not a nickname. I just used that when he hit a bomb. That's not
John Sterling. That's John Sterling.
No, I said I just used, as in a one-time used. Yeah, like a condom.
Well, I mean, how many opportunities
you know what those are?
Really?
Mm-hmm. Used. Quite a few. Believe he leads rookies in home runs, if not close.
Okay.
So that happened. And then later in the game, the other rookie who leads all rookies in hits and stolen bases and cool shit like that, he come up and got himself a knock as well. So it's the first time in baseball history a team has sent two rookies to the plate, one hitting a grand slam to tie the game, and then the other coming up to actually end the game. So that's a little insight to the road to 10 in Oaktown.
Big time. Do you ever, because I mean, if I'm getting it, you must be getting it tenfold. Like when I go to games at Fenway and you've got like the road teams coming in, people will ask me how you're doing, like you're dying. Because you have to broadcast like 155 plus Oakland A's games. Like I'll see guys come in, all these road teams and then like, what's up, man? How you doing? Like, good to see you, man. How's Dallas? How's Dallas doing? Is he all right? You good?
Oh, hey.
Like that's the tone. That's the tone that I get asked how you're doing it.
Bro, the fucking Royals, when the Royals came into town, I walked into the clubhouse and like I hadn't seen Amir. I saw Amir he was down in the bullpen. Or when I came into Kansas City, excuse me, he was down in the bullpen. So I didn't see him the first day. Like I didn't hook up with him. And then when we left, I walked in and he just put his arms out, like fuck, man. Yeah, really? Like, you know what I mean? Like I want to walk in there and be like, bro, I don't care. Fuck, whatever. Like, my go-to line is, look, my ERA doesn't change. After this game, my ERA will still be the same. Like it's not great, but it's not going to get any worse. So like I want to tell people that I'm not completely married to this thing. Well, that's a fucking lie. And they know that. So Amir just like put his arms out, was like, come on, bro, come here. Just come in here and let me fucking help you out. Everything's going to be all right. And then fucking Keller came up right after that. I was like, come on, fucking both of you go away. But thank you. I love you.
It feels good to be cared about. It's like it's your birthday every day. Your team is so bad.
Yeah, well, I'd rather that not be the case.
You get special love and care and attention every single day.
No.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, baby.
I could do without that. I could do without. I appreciate the thought. I appreciate the sentiment.
Dallas. You're loved. People care about you.
Yeah,
that's a good thing.
It hurts.
Yeah. It's a good thing.
But they know they know I'm on the front line, and that's all that matters.
Oh, they know. People are taking note of that. But the second biggest story of the week, and people, I mean, there's been some wild accusations being thrown around. I've been getting called a Yankee loving bitch this past week. but it's only because I stand on the right side of the fence. It's only because I stand on the right side of justice. Aaron Judge was accused of cheating by the Toronto Blue Jays broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they walked it back. Did they walk it back? I think they doubled down on it. I think the next day they were like, yeah, they should fucking drill this guy, which is, I mean, I guess.
Well, they're not. They weren't far off. They're not cheating. He's not cheating. So to say that he was cheating.
No, he's not cheating. Is he doing something that's frowned upon? Yes.
Well, hold on. Time out. Frowned upon by who?
The opposition.
No.
Yeah, they were frowning.
Time out.
But they were frowning.
You can frown if you want to, but they are still in the mind space where they know that this is not wrong and they know that this is not illegal. So at the end of the day, you can frown, you can be butthurt all you want, but you're still part of a group that I would then classify as moronic, or that is choosing to not understand how things have gone on the baseball field since we've been playing things on baseball fields. This is how things go. Yeah, so fucking
here's the call.
Shit.
Here's the call.
A long hold here by Jackson. And it's 2-2. All right, Buck. So you and I looked at each other at the same moment right when we saw this 3 pitches ago.
Watch what he's looking at.
Yeah. What is that?
Where's he looking?
Where is he looking? And he did it more than once.
Yeah. It's really, really unusual. But you and I both looked at each other when we saw that.
Like, did you see what I saw?
Yeah.
And you don't want to go, throwing allegations around without knowing, but
no. And you know what? I have had guys look back when I was catching, and you obviously could see it, and he couldn't see the catcher with the way he was looking right there.
Yeah, just did it again. And he pummeled it.
And he pummeled it.
A country mile for his second home run of the night.
And he pummeled it. I don't know if they continue, but that's enough to get the point of their suspicions on the broadcast. And then we were just asking, like, did they walk it back after the conversation had kind of subsided about whether or not that this was cheating or is this gamesmanship? I don't know who this was, but this was on the Blue Jays pregame. Aaron Judge is in the cage bunting, and this is what's being said.
I'm trying to send a message, and there was a time earlier in my career when, yes, messages were sent to me too, right at my head when it wasn't good. I would like to see Kevin Gausman come out and send a message. The problem is the umpire.
So now they're advocating for Aaron Judge to get smoked in the head over this. So here's what I know, and I think some of this is now out there. I think I was told. Well, first we can go back to the original Blue Jays broadcast. My theory, I don't know this. This is my theory because I see it at Fenway where broadcasters will come down, they'll talk to players, they'll talk to executives, they'll like get on the ground level to get the story. And then in Dallas, I'm sure you can attest to this, present it in a way where they're hypothesizing, but they know. Like they don't want to say it, but they're telling you they're asking a question, but they're telling you. I think this is my theory again, just based on what I see. My theory is that the Jays broadcasters probably knew that the Yankees were doing this, were looking for it because they heard about it, saw it, and then kind of just put it out there as a question like, oh, what's he doing down there? I don't know. But I was later told that I guess they had video of several other Yankees with wandering eyes and that the Jays were also tipped off by other teams that had seen them doing this. Mm-hmm. And by doing this, what do I mean? And, if you're listening, you probably already understand by now. But for those who don't, this is not a Houston Astros thing. This is not an electronic stealing signs thing.
This is all about physical setup on the baseball field.
That's what this is. If you look at Alejandro Kirk, he's got the one leg down, so like you could see the signs, but now, I mean, we can confirm that they were using pitchcom and using dummy signs.
But you don't need to have the signs, because if he's setting up differently for a slider in the dirt, then he's going to have a different setup. You can tell just by the way he's set up. You don't even have to have signs.
Sure. But so what was happening, and this is why last night's game was also interesting, because if you're looking for a brawl or someone getting thrown at, you did not get that. But what you did get, there were some fuck you gestures going on, and we're not talking about the Domingo German stuff. So what was essentially happening was you had the Yankees first and third base coaches way outside their boxes. Like, they have boxes for a reason. That's where they're supposed to be. Some of them go outside a little bit because you don't want to get smoked with 115 off the bat. So you'll get an umpire that's not going to say, hey, you have to stay directly in the box. You can venture outside a little bit. But the Yankees' first and third base coaches were venturing very much way outside. So they were being able to see pitch location, and then that's being relayed to the hitters at the plate. That's what they were looking at, which is not illegal. Like, that is just gamesmanship. But you got caught. Like, you can't get caught. So, I mean, to I guess go into
Hold
this.
on. Why can't you get caught?
Well, because now, I mean, you will get teams that are going to throw at you.
Well, so fucking throw at me, dick. Now I'm on first base.
Oh,
Yeah. But I am so
Thank
over
you.
this shit. I am so over entertaining the back and forth. Oh, do you understand that is what has been happening since the first fucking day we played baseball? If I can figure out what you're doing because you're too fucking stupid to figure out that that's what you're doing, that's your fucking fault. You're the fucking idiot. Make the fucking adjustment. If not, fuck you. And if you're bitter about it, get better with it. And if you don't get better, you're going to go fucking home. You just stop. Stop. Nobody is wrong for it. This is how the fucking game is played. This is how you gain the advantage, which is why people started losing their shit when technology got introduced, because base coaching is just that. Coaching from the base that you are located at. So what is the first baseman or the first base's coach's job? When there's runners on, we're talking about defensive alignment. We're talking about where the players are. We're talking about pitch count. We're talking about timing, tips that the pitcher could be giving. If you're going to be going to second base anytime soon, we might be talking about that. It's also his job, as he did, to be able to create an angle if he can, to figure out what's going on the mound with the pitch grips. As a right-hander, as you saw the Blue Jays pitcher admit, as he comes set, based on your positioning as a first base coach, you'll be able to see pitch grip. And if you can do that, and you're positioned in a place where your hitter can see you, and you have already got physical movements designated for certain either pitches or locations, now we're cooking. Now we're cooking. You're doing your job. Why? Because the catcher back there has either got his legs spread out too far, or he's giving something up early with his early setup. He's giving away all of the information. Would you have the competitor turn their fucking head and close their eyes and not take advantage of something like that? Is that what you're asking to have happen at the highest, most elite level of competition?
I think it's just laziness. Yeah, I think the word is lazy. Like, I think if you're going to complain about, I mean, and again, I think we're arguing against something that didn't actually happen. Like, we're talking about the broadcaster suggesting that the Yankees get thrown at. The Jays didn't do that. I think what they did do, if you watched the game last night, and Booney obviously got upset about it, they were doing it back. Like, they were saying, like, fuck you, by having their base coaches go way outside the boxes as a way to be like, all right, fine, fuck you. Like, we're going to do it too. And then Booney was complaining to the home plate umpire who made the adjustment. But I mean, the Jays were just trying to be like, look, this is what the fuck you guys were doing. Like, we're just going to do it too then, if you're going to make a big stink about it.
And something to understand about base coaching in the setup, right? There's so many different ways that your presence on the field can make an impact. So when I coach third base, like high school, lower level, Legion, whatever the fuck, right? Do you know what I explain to our base runners at second base? Hey, I want you to pick me up, and as far down the line as I get, that'll give you an idea where the second baseman is, where he's jockeying. So if you see me start to work my way back to third base, he's starting to pinch and jockey you back to second base. When you start to see me extend, you know that the guy that you can't see allows you to extend. Same thing at first base. Where am I at? Well, the shortstop. That's where you can look. Your runner at second base picks up his first base coach. He gets an idea where the shortstop is. He looks at his third base coach. He gets an idea where the second baseman is. All that's happening because of where, hang with me now, the base coaches are positioned, and they're not always inside those boxes. So where do we find ourselves? Once again, in a place where baseball is not effectively enforcing rules. So do the Jays have a point here? They do ultimately, right? There's a box on the field to keep our guys in it. You got to keep them in it. If they're not in it, shit like this can happen. If I'm not in my first base box and I choose to back up behind first base, like down the line, that gives me a great look into the mitt of a right-handed pitcher coming set. That gives me a beautiful look. Same can be said for the third base coach with a left-handed pitcher. So if you keep these guys in the box and they're not able to create these egregious angles and egregious sight lines, are they then able to communicate these things? Well, now we don't know the answer to that, but a good starting place would be to enforce the rules that the Jays have taken issue with not being enforced, right? But of course, people that ask those things to happen just become little bitches and are complaining and can't just play the game. And it's like, well, hold on. If we want to cause a stink about all this, let's get to the root of it. Where does it start? It's funny that I think it starts at the lack of enforcement once again.
Yeah. Jayhay, what was your take on the whole thing?
I mean, close to a nothing burger. Like I trend closer to what Dallas is saying about just having more or less no time for this. Maybe it'll get more people nationally to hear what Buck Martinez sounds like. I guess that's the only kind of silver lining. I'm over it already, almost before it started.
Yeah. Joseph?
I think that was a great tidbit that you found there, Jared. Because I was wondering whether or not if the broadcast didn't say it on the air, if the Blue Jays would have even noticed it. Which, yeah, I guess they probably noticed it before the broadcast, and that's why it happened. That makes a lot more sense because I see that happen. Like I wouldn't say frequently, but I do see batters like looking in weird places. Watching on TV.
Wasn't there an old video of Josh Donaldson?
I didn't see it.
Know. Wasn't that the beef that Yelich got into with Darvish?
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what team I was watching, but recently I saw someone doing that. It could have been the Yankees, and I was thinking that same shit. What the fuck is he looking at?
Yeah, that was the one thing that I haven't seen out there was like when they were talking about like whether or not is he peeking for location? Are they stealing signs? And then everyone was like, how can you steal signs? They were using pitchcom. Well, Kirk was throwing down signs, but they were also using pitchcom. So the signs were dummy signs to throw them off.
Yeah, and the pitcher came out already. The pitcher came out and said that he was tipping because of where his hand was.
6 straight sliders.
It's all about like how you're coming set, when you're coming set, the speed of which you're coming set, and again the location. Like if you guys are first base coaches and I'm a right-handed pitcher and I'm in the stretch. And for the folks listening who can't see this, go to the fucking YouTube channel one time. You can see my hands. Watch.
Yeah.
Right?
Change up.
And if I come set and I got my eyes open or my glove open because I'm trying to keep my glove close to the body or whatever, now I'm giving you a fucking perfect line of sight. Watch this. It's just all it's all right there. It's all right there. And as baseball people, you are taught this at a very, very young age that these are things to look for. Right? This is like if you're playing football, like we're taught this at a very early age. If you're a linebacker and you're playing at the lower levels, you look at the quarterback's feet. Does he set up one way or the other? Because he's going to tell you which way he's going to open up to hand the ball off. You're looking at the running back's eyes. Does he continue to look to one side or the other? Because he's probably looking at where he's going, which is where the ball's going, which is where you should be going. So you pass these things along because they're nuance to the game, right? So would you have an NFL fan going, I can't stand for this. I don't want to watch fucking Patrick Willis get a great first step and knock somebody's fucking head off. That's not fair. He should not know what's coming. That's bullshit. No, you don't hear that. You don't hear that. No. So stop it.
It made me respect Aaron Judge that much more because the Peking game was part of a 2-home run game. The second homer was like 450 something. And then you have all this attention on you. You just signed this big money contract. You're the captain of the Yankees. And for the most part, you're trying to be Derek Jeter reincarnated, who Mr. Nice Guy, Mr. Professional, Mr. Classy. And now you've got these cheating allegations, and which are dumb and unfounded. But you go up there the very next night with all that attention on you. And what do? Hit another one, fucking 450. And as he was crossing home plate, he covered his eyes. So like he'll do shit like that. Like Aaron Judge, for the most part, is like he's not going to bat flip. He's not going to stand there and stare at his home runs. But there have been times where he had like a slight gesture a couple of years ago to Jose Altuve with like the jersey thing. Like he hit a home run in Houston and he was like rounding third base. And then he did like the don't like rip my jersey, like mocking Altuve. And then I didn't see it. I saw it this morning. I didn't notice it last night when he hit the home run. But as he was crossing home plate, he covered his eyes.
Well, he showed that he's that dude, right? Like, oh, why am I here in San Francisco? It's San Francisco. Just seeing a friend. Like he's got that in him. He's drawn a line between, breaking that third wall almost between him acknowledging that he'll do that stuff and then just doing it. He'll just do it. You'll see it, and we'll talk about it like we are right now, but he'll never acknowledge that it happened. Like, hey, Aaron, did you remember when you... He's like, oh, no, that was just it was a glare from the light.
No, I had something in my eye. It was fucking... It was...
Right? And he'll say that to you with a huge fucking shit-eating grin on his face. Like, yep.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody's head to get thrown at, for sure. I think that's garbage shit. But I wouldn't mind if the overall chippiness factor increased between these two teams for the remainder of this series or moving forward, because it going back to what we were talking about with the Padres-Dodgers rivalry or whatever, and just rivalries in general, and Mookie being asked about Yankees, Red Sox versus etc. We could use some chippiness in some of these rivalries, or develop a rivalry if that's what it takes. But
who was the dude that said that about throw? Because I don't think he was asking to throw it.
No, that's fine. I'm not trying to make too much of that. I'm just saying, generally speaking.
Yeah, he talked about getting thrown at, and he talked about even my head was thrown at.
No. He advocated
play it again.
For...
Play it again.
I'm trying to send a message, and there was a time earlier in my career when, yes, messages were sent to me too, right at my head when it wasn't good. I would like to see Kevin Gausman come out and send a message. The problem is the umpire.
Yeah, so like right at my head when it wasn't good. Period. I would like to see them send a message is kind of how I hear that. I don't hear that. I'd like to see them throw at his head. Like I got my head thrown at. I'd like to see them throw at his head.
It's not hard to interpret. Hey, when I was playing, sending a message was thrown at someone's head. I'd like to see them send a message tonight. Like that's what he said. He's telling you what send a message means to him, and then saying that they should send a message.
When it was bad, and he said when it was bad too, like when it was bad. So what does that mean?
Yeah.
When your personal offense was bad enough, they decided, fuck it, we're throwing at your head, not at your rib cage. Like what was what? That's why I said I didn't hear right away.
The punishment doesn't fit the crime. Like it's not. I know, and this, to your question earlier, Dallas. Like who's mad about this? Like the opposition, is it cheating? No. Like, are you like the Blue Jays? And
you're mad luckily, you got. That's it. You're mad you got.
Seeing that accountability now. Like if they're admitting like, hey, I was tipping my pitches, then you're starting to see some accountability versus, well, what the fuck, man? Like it's like, dude, the laziness. I'm gonna go back to that word, the laziness to not even try to deke the hitter or the base coaches about where the location is gonna be. Kirk is just fucking. Right there. Right here. Come on. He's set up outside.
But again, if it's pitch grip that he's getting, that's the next layer to this. That's the next level to this.
Yes. But it's both. He got both. He was getting fucking location from the first base coach, and he's getting the pitch from the pitcher who's tipping the pitch.
Well, I'll tell you right now, you can ask any hitter, and if they have a choice between knowing what pitch is coming or just the general location, what do you think they're going to pick?
Honestly, that's a good question. I feel like maybe that's more obvious for an actual big leaguer, but from my perspective, would I want the location or the pitch? I'd probably want the location.
Yeah.
I'd like to know where I'm looking here.
You're not a big league guy. It's pitch. It's obviously pitch.
You want 100 miles an hour, or do you want 86 with 22 inches of horizontal movement?
Well, I mean, to know for sure, like if you're...
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm going to tell you right now, Jared, you can have a choice. You can know where or roughly about where this pitch might end up, or I can tell you exactly what pitch you're getting. So you can sell out to that pitch. And if you know that pitch, you've got a pretty good idea of where the location's going to be too.
Yeah,
right?
any big league hitter that knows a fastball is coming is going to want to know the fastball. But like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like if you crush anything inside, then I don't want to be leaning out if the pitch is in.
Well, no, I mean, you'd like to have it, but again, you don't know what pitch it is. You just know that it's going to be there. So you're geared up for 96 in. Great. Now it's a changeup and it's down and you've swung over top of it because you were geared up for that heater in. You just didn't know it was going to be a changeup.
Yeah. I wonder what the poll results would be if you polled like every big league hitter. Yeah,
because I'm telling you right now, like, I don't give a fuck where it's at. If you're telling me what's coming, I like my chances. And that's coming from a guy who hit until I got to professional baseball. It's coming from just a D1 hitter, not a pro hitter, not a minor league hitter, I college hitter. That's it.
But to Jayhay's point, it's a nothing story. It is a story because it's Aaron Judge. Like, let's face it. If this were someone else that got caught doing it, like if this is Harrison Bader, no one gives a fuck. It's because it's our boy Judgy.
Well, it is interesting because, people were saying with the pitchcom and shit, and Scherzer said it, other guys, like, you're getting rid of the gamesmanship, getting rid of the cool, like, sign stealing stuff. Like, it's kind of good to see that it still goes on. It's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it is interesting. But yeah, the Yankees and the Blue Jays hate each other. I had that tweet last night. I was like, it feels weird growing up in the 90s and the 2000s with the Red Sox and Yankees, knowing that the Red Sox aren't even like a top 3 rival of the Yankees right now. Like the Rays, Blue Jays, and Astros are probably bigger rivals to the Yankees than the Red Sox are right now.
Yeah, even the Guardians.
Yeah. Yeah. It is odd. I mean, obviously, yeah, it's electric when they like that 21 wild card game was electric. But like outside of that, there's been very, very little sizzle to that rivalry. But the baseball season's in full swing, whether you're rooting for the home team or betting on your favorite player. DraftKings Sportsbook has got you covered for all this season's action. And right now, new customers can place a $5 bet and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, everyone can hit one out of the park with DraftKings stepped-up same-game parlays. Boost your winnings with each leg that you add up to 100%. I believe, Jake, was I the only person to hit on the Baseball is Dead parlay?
No.
I pushed mine.
I won.
You did?
Yes. Astros beat the Cubs.
Yes.
Whether you use my original one or what we ended up going with, I would have won the bet either way. So 2-0, Jayhay.
Wow. I'm also 2-0. Joey, you're 0-2.
Allegedly.
Dallas, did you whiff on yours?
No. Shohei delivered.
So what the fuck? So I'm the guy who got it wrong. That's it? Me?
Wait, Jake, can we confirm any of this?
Shohei did not deliver. Shohei did not deliver.
No, he definitely didn't deliver.
Liar.
How many did he punch out? Are you sure?
It was,
I don't know. He gave
up
him like
5 or
6.
6. Yeah.
I'm not worried about the runs. I could care
I'm
less
not worried about the runs.
Give a fuck about the runs.
Yeah, that was a bad day on the bump. Great day at the plate, though.
Yeah, I was 2 punches away.
What did he was like a knock away from the cycle?
That's right.
Damn.
Again.
Yeah,
a base away.
Yeah, 1 base. Join the big league action right now in the DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app and sign up with the promo code Jared, Jared. New customers can bet just $5 on any bet and get $150 in bonus bets instantly only at the DraftKings Sportsbook with the promo code Jared. Yeah, someone's gonna get Joe some picks because you stink at this.
Well, last time I picked didn't count. You guys didn't say it was ineligible, whatever, but
I mean, it would have your pick also would have missed. Didn't you have Shohei like 9.5 strikeouts?
Hindsight's 2020, bro.
Okay.
Hindsight is 2020. We can't just You
get a new video up on Baseball Doesn't Exist. Watched it last night. It is it's basically like a 2023 season, not like recap, but like here's all the weird shit that's happened so far. Out of all the things that you included in that video, what was your favorite thing that has happened so far in 2023?
Favorite thing. Honestly, the favorite thing that's happened in 2023, I didn't even put in the video, but it'd have to be the Mets being shit. And
we're gonna talk about that.
And Scherzer getting ejected. But that wasn't in the video. We're saving that one maybe for the next video or something. I don't know. I guess the dugout celebrations. I like that stuff. Or the Bryce Harper coming back and then seeing, because there's like, if you go through Bryce Harper's whole career and see him getting injured and how fast he comes back from like every injury, it's really interesting. He heals faster than anybody.
He does. Yep. It's happened multiple times.
Actually, I take it back again. It's hot dog night for sure, dude.
$1 hot dog night?
Yeah. The $1 dog nights in Philly this year, the three of them have been so fucking sick. 88,000 hot dogs sold for game 3. They sold out every single one. Hot dog wave was one of the sickest clips ever in baseball. The hot dog wave. Go look it up. It's amazing.
How do they go over capacity? $1 hot dog night, like the stadium is like a capacity of 43,000 and there was 44,000 people there?
Yeah, I guess it's standing room only. They don't count that for capacity, but they had, what you look on the website, they had more attendance than they had seats.
Interesting.
For hot dogs. And it goes deeper. They have remember the guy
helmet?
Samurai helmet's sick. But sorry,
it's $2,500.
I get caught up on the hot dog night, but it's interesting because remember that guy who got tased on the field?
No. Wait, don't tase me, bro guy?
Yeah. That was
like 10 years ago.
Yeah, but that was $1 dog night.
Oh.
You probably don't remember this, but you remember the fan who threw up on an 11-year-old, got arrested for it on purpose at a Phillies game? No, but he got arrested, and that was $1 dog night. And
how are people getting like drunk and like ruthless over hot dogs? Like it's not $1 draft night.
Well, at Philly, it's a tradition. They get drunk in the parking lot. They tailgate, and it's a bunch of college kids who show up. That's a big reason why. And another fun fact, last night, the Blue Jays game, $1 dog night. And
was it really?
We had an ejection. We had a lot of fighting. It's something about the dogs, man.
Yeah, the dogs bring out the dogs.
I can tell you right now, I have just randomly sent out that text to about 7 or 8 big leaguers.
They all said pitch.
You got it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I did the same thing.
Another one just rolled in. Pitch type.
Yep.
You got it.
Me too.
Called it.
Former big leaguer just sent him a text.
Was it Andrew Jones?
I sent out anonymous at the top of the text. So I'm going to respect that.
Well, it makes sense. Very interesting. The new Baseball Doesn't Exist YouTube video is out. It's all the weird shit that has happened so far this year. One of the first things that you mentioned, Joe, was the Mets. And I'm more siding with Jayhay here. We need to be more selective about who we open up the voicemail line to. But next in line is the Mets, and we're not there yet.
Oh my God. The guy who just spit stop this. I can't take this. I mean.
What? What?
Oh, no, go ahead. Open up the phone lines. I got a mailman.
I'm not happy
about his route too. Can we get him?
I just said I'm not opening them up.
Well, obviously, Jared feels bad trying to open the phone lines to get Ollie Marmol fired because we have the juice, so we can do that. And then he met him, and he turns out he's a nice guy.
Cardinals have the worst record in the National League.
I'm starting to think Bob Garen might have photos on YouTube. I can't understand why you two continue to beat the drum of an individual who has. I mean, there is less relevance sitting outside my fucking house right now.
Typical.
We get
Typical.
it. You hate Bob Garen. You've always hated him.
Thank you.
You got the man fired.
It's not true.
He hasn't had a managerial job in baseball since. So not only did you get him fired, but you probably use me as a reference if he ever interviews for a managerial job. And then I got something for you. Just slander the guy. Probably half the shit you said wasn't even true. Guy can't get a job. Sorry for trying to get a guy back on the horse. But yeah, I open up the phone lines for Cardinals fans. Do I regret it? Yeah.
You should.
Yeah,
Has your team lost 2 in a row? Call the baseball is dead.
No, that's all I
they
need.
Were
that's
in
all I want to hear.
Place in the league.
That's all I want to hear is that Jared regrets the decision, and I
it.
think we're going to be more judicious moving forward.
Good.
Nothing else needs to be said.
I certainly
That's fine.
Fucking hope so.
Listen, there's justification for it. If they have the worst record in the National League and you're supposed to win the division, I think that is grounds for consideration. I don't think it's egregious. I didn't open up the fucking phone lines for the Dodgers last year when they got off to a slow start. Like, that would be way more egregious.
Every Mets season is like this, though. And if we have to accept that we can't be that dialed into the emotions of Mets fans and the ups and downs because we would open the voicemails every year.
It's volatile. It is volatile.
It's like the console meter, right? Yeah, you can't pull the trigger on that too early, and you can't panic if you're a Mets fan too early because we've seen this play out. Maybe it will be a shitty season. Maybe
Did you see the fucking tweet that I put out last night?
What?
I put out a poll tweet late last night after the Mets lost again. I said, Mets fans, where are you guys at right now? The options were, we're fine, we're cooked, concerned, but long season. We're cooked, leader in the clubhouse at 63.9%. Concerned, but long season, 32.7%. We're fine, 3.4%.
See, like, that's just a group of people who, when they watch baseball, they do not walk away happy, regardless of what happens. It feels like, like if they win, they feel like they're being hosed. If they lose, it's how it should have been. This is what we knew was going to fucking happen. 162 days of that. That is pain. That is pure pain.
Cheer up, Mets fans. You got Verlander back. You should be good.
That was the thought. I don't know if he's seeing the ball too well, though, Joe. What's he hit with runners in scoring position right now?
Ooh, Justin Verlander?
Yeah.
Not at 0.
Yeah.
Overall, what did you feel about, besides those homers, just how'd you feel about your day?
Not a lot of positives to take out of it. I guess the only positive is that I know I got some work to do.
Yeah.
I already started looking at some video, trying to find, I think there's a little something off of my mechanics. I need to fix it, and I need to fix it in a hurry. So it's been plenty of times in my career where, you find yourself a little off, and there's no panic button, especially, my third start of the season. But sometimes it takes games like this to really kind of, kick you and, make you study everything that you possibly can to find out what's a little off. Overall today, not great.
That was very funny.
Overall, what did you feel about, besides those homers, just how'd you feel about your day?
What does that translate to with Japanese subtitles?
Yeah, I don't know.
Jay.
I think those Mets fans who the 30 whatever % who said concerned, but it's a long season. I think they're the ones of the most sane mind right now, because I don't think
that's
you
the
can
correct answer.
Yeah, I don't think you can just say it's fine because you have key players not playing well. And as we've discussed previously, 2 of those guys are very old. And it's always possible that there isn't a corner to turn.
But
they've
needs to turn around.
For sure. I mean, those two being Verlander and Scherzer, have allowed 10 home runs and 44 and 2/3 innings pitched this year. Like, that's just, I don't like focusing on the money, but like, that's just not what they're there to do. And if you're going to combine that with Francisco Lindor, particularly offensively, playing below his standard, and Starling Marte being like almost invisible offensively this season when he has played, and Pete Alonso being 10% below what we would like to see from him, like McNeil 10% below. Brandon Nimmo is really the only regular offensive player who is contributing at the preseason expectation. And I think in some ways, I think they're actually kind of fortunate to be 3 games under 500. The bad thing is that they play in a division with one of the teams that's one of the 2 or 3 best rosters and teams in Major League Baseball. And so in that sense, they might be cooked as it relates to the division, but it's too early to say they're cooked overall. There's a lot of mediocrity in the NL right now. We ran through that with the Padres. We ran through that with the NL Central situation, the Phillies. Like, there are like 2 teams who have said we are good in the NL, and the rest we're kind of waiting to see.
I tweeted this last night about the St. Louis Cardinals, and I was like, hey guys, look, the St. Louis Cardinals have a positive run differential. But to Jayhay's point that he just made, you got the Dodgers, the Braves, the Brewers, the D-backs, and the Pirates, who are clinging to a positive run differential.
Fuck.
Then you have a mountain of shit. The Marlins, the Phillies, the Mets, the Padres, the Reds, the Giants, the Nats, and the Rockies all have a negative run differential. Then at the very bottom, you have the Cardinals at +6. The Mets have a negative 19 run differential. They're 3 games under 500. Justin Verlander, who, by the way, I know that, it's funny to hear him say like, oh, I pitch like shit, blah, blah, blah. I give him credit for going along with it, for being like, I'm going to sulk and be accountable. I need to be better. Like, I give him credit for playing the role. But at the end of the day, 5 innings, 8 hits, 6 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, 2 bombs. To his point that he makes at the end, this is my 3rd fucking start. Like, can I get some leniency here? Like, I didn't have like a spring training. This is my 3rd start. I know you guys have sucked for a month and a half, but I just got here. And I understand that you're paying me $43 million and I'm supposed to be the savior, but I'm 40 fucking years old and I just got here. I did not have a normal start to my season. I didn't get to prepare the way that I wanted to. And he was pretty damn good his last time out, right? It was like 7 innings of like 1 earned run or whatever. And to the point about the fucking Mets and the schedule, they just had a run of 3 or 4 series against teams that were absolute dog shit. And they like lost every single game pretty much. Now, because you didn't get your shit together against the bad teams, guess what? The Rays are in town and they're the best team in baseball. And you saw that. Fucking Isaac Paredes 2 times off your ass. Like that, like the Rays are the team where it's like, it doesn't matter that you don't understand why we're beating you. You just need to understand that we're beating you. And it is what it is.
Can we just take a step back really fast and just run? If you would have been told prior to the start of the season that the Mets would miss Justin Verlander and he would have made 3 starts by mid-late May, that Max Scherzer's ERA would be approaching 5 and he would have dealt with a suspension and missed that start, that Francisco Lindor's OPS would be 725, and that et cetera. Like, I just don't think being 3 games under 500 is the sky is falling for this team. If everybody keeps performing like that, then yeah, it's a concern, obviously. But like, I think this is a reasonably decent outcome for how many things have gone wrong for the Mets through the first month and a half of the season.
But the bad part about it is, the really scary part is that they've played the easiest schedule in the league and they're still terrible.
I get it.
It's like, that was the problem with, like, I get what Verlander, I don't think he said it, but 3 starts, like, you're really going to blame it on Verlander? Like, you can't, but at the same time you can, because that was kind of the problem with the Mets. From my perspective, is like, you're relying a lot on these 2 guys who are beasts, Hall of Famers, but they're old and they're paying Verlander and Scherzer more money then the Athletics' entire team, by far. Then the Orioles' entire team, more than the Pittsburgh Pirates' entire team.
Those teams should be shamed by that stat. The Mets shouldn't be shamed.
But what about the Rays?
The Athletics, Pirates, and Orioles should be shamed that their entire payroll is less than 2 players.
We're not concerned. We're winning baseball games out here in Oakland. You do whatever.
One out of every 3, no doubt. 1 out of every 3.
Yeah, Oakland doesn't need a Max Scherzer to perform. All right,
No.
they got guys who are rookies who go off.
They got Trevor May,
May.
highest paid player on the team.
They got a lot of guys. They got a lot of great guys. A lot of great broadcasters. A lot of great fans.
Yep.
A lot of great wildlife.
Wildlife.
Great wildlife.
Dallas, did you see Joey's new video?
Great wildlife. No. What is this?
Oh, there's a whole segment about the Oakland A's. It's really cool.
Yeah, the A's got a lot of airtime on that vid.
Yeah, the A's got a lot of play in the new vid.
Was it the cats? Was it?
That was part of it. Yeah.
Was it the possums?
There's possums talk. Yep.
You know what? I'm waiting for a phone call back to see if I'll be able to mass order these little stuffed possums that I want to take with me and just leave in other other broadcast booths, like in other ballparks. Like, I don't know, man. You guys, from what I understand, you guys got a possum issue as well.
I mean, what? Like, that seems like a giant marketing opportunity. How like the Angels had the rally monkey in 2002. Like, how did the A's not have the rally possum?
Well, Jared,
you have to win baseball games. Yeah. Oh, you did?
Yeah. Just type in rally possum, bud.
That's also a funny thing I found out is that the A's also have a home run celebration. I didn't know that.
Well, they were workshopping a few. They were workshopping a few. Like at one point, somebody just put on a catcher's mask and like walked it down the fucking. And I was thinking to myself, like, boys, we're gonna have to do a lot better than this right now. Like I legit did not even we did a replay, to see what they were wearing, and that's where I have a choice to either, dress it up and get behind what I'm seeing, or I can just kind of, do what I did, which was, well, I think that's a catcher's mask. Yeah. that's exactly what I said. And then we fast forward and they had the Hulk hands, right? The Hulk smash hands, which, hey, I'm into that. I like that. But now we've got Thor's hammer. So there's a little Marvel.
Oh yeah, I saw that. And it's so depressing too, because like it's not even like a big hammer.
What do you want? An actual I don't know.
Thor's hammer. Jared, hammer is probably.
I don't know if you realize this, but nobody else would be able to pick up Thor's hammer.
What do you mean?
Oh,
like actual Thor's hammer?
I don't have time for this.
I didn't see the movies.
Come on.
I didn't see the movies. I just looked it up, and the A's Rally Possum has its own Twitter account at Rally Possum.
Yeah. So tune the fuck in. Where you been,
dude? I tweet. Did you see my tweet the other night about which broadcast? I was like, hey, East Coast baseball fans, which broadcast do you most like to watch to like go to bed at the end of the night? West Coast broadcast. A lot of love for Dallas in the Oakland A's market. A lot of love.
Green and gold coming on strong, baby. There was actually a time, Jared, where when I was sitting below down on the field.
I remember that. Yeah, with your little umbrella. Yeah.
Yes, there was a family of possums, 4 of them that just came walking down the the cables underneath the hallway. They just came walking down, 4 of them, and then they just walked all the way across. So the shot behind home plate, you can see the walkway that goes down into what we call the diamond level. And you can see across the top of the screen the opening, and sure shit, here come the possums. Live TV, just fucking hanging out, and then he stops. Boom, he stops, And he takes in like 2 innings, just chills right there and watches fucking baseball for like 2 innings. It's great. The family was hanging out behind him. You know, it was a total dad move. Like, hey, hold on. We're going to pull over. Give me a minute, right? I'll ask for directions. But he was really just taking in some quality baseball.
Honestly, I hate to say it, possum meat tastes really good.
You ever had possum meat?
I'm just assuming that that's what that meat was that they sold at the Coliseum.
Those were steak tips, Jared.
Okay.
Those were steak tips. Possums get a bad rap, dude. They've gotten a bad rap.
Fuck
I think
possums,
I've already,
dude, like the ugliest animal. Fuck them.
Fuck them.
But they are so nice.
Yeah, they're nice guys.
They're nice. They're one of the cleanest animals, one of the cleanest rodents on the planet.
Take shits in the broadcast booth.
Yeah,
it's so bad that they got to move the broadcast booth.
Well, yeah,
about a month ago, I saw one near my garbage tin area outside near dusk.
Yep.
I've done all garbage removal from the house during daylight hours since.
You want to know what he was doing, Jayhay? He was acting as the last line of defense between you and Lyme disease. We've talked about this. So I know why you're angry.
Lyme disease.
I know. That's why you're angry at the possum. And that's fine. That's fine. They weren't as diligent around the Havens household when they should have been. All right. I get it. You're a little bitter. It's fine. But fuck. Cut the little fella some slack.
This is totally random, but I just saw it because it popped up on my phone. Can we talk about Aroldis Chapman throwing 104 miles an hour again?
And then staring it down?
Like 104?
The mechanical adjustments. Coiling like a cobra once again. Coiling. Strong load.
Was he not?
Get into that lower half. Fucking deliver. Ride me down the slope. Oh, I'm talking about separation. Talking about creating torque, you know? Here's 104 down the fucking pipe. You ready for it?
Imagine being a lefty, seeing 104 from the left side.
Fuck no.
No.
Fuck no. I told you. I got hit when I was like 14, 15 by a dude throwing fucking 94, 95 left-handed. I didn't even have time to move my arms. It hit me right in the fucking wrist. I just dropped the bat and didn't even feel anything. So I couldn't even imagine 104 left-handed. You want me to hang in there? You want me to keep my front side closed and try to barrel up a fucking 93 mile an hour slider? No. Nope.
No. Side note, I got to talk to Big Dumper yesterday.
Nice.
Feel like, should we drop that tomorrow, Jake, or today?
It's going to be ready today.
It's going to be ready today? All
we
right.
could do it today or tomorrow.
Do you want to do it right now?
Let's do it right now.
Let's do it right now. All right. Hey, without further ado, here's a little interview. Surprise. It's Big Dumper, Cal Raleigh of the Seattle Mariners, America's team. Our Dallas's Jayhay, Joey, Jake.
Not mine.
It is our Seattle Mariners, Cal Raleigh. All right, we got Cal Raleigh, Seattle Mariners. By the way, have you heard the nickname America's team? Has that made its way across of the Seattle Mariners?
I've heard it. I've seen it a little on Twitter, but I don't know if it's quite caught on yet.
I mean, we got to get it to catch on because the Seattle Mariners are America's team. This is so I last October was in Seattle. I had to be there for the first playoff game since 2001, and I think the first thing that stood out to me was the fans were on their feet the entire time, and it was an 18-inning game in which you were behind the plate for. So I was miserable standing. Like, I feel like if I'm a Mariners fan, then obviously you have that like adrenaline going and you don't really feel it. But as a neutral fan, I was like, 18 innings is a long time to be standing up. What was it like to be catching 18 innings in a playoff game?
It was a long game.
Yeah. It was like, what, 5 hours?
Yeah, it was something crazy like that. And,
Yeah.
and the crazy thing was nobody scored. It was
Nobody scored.
It was a 1-0 game. So
Yeah.
It was insane. I mean, like you said, the fans were on their feet the entire game. And it was like I think they were just like, when's this gonna end?
Give us something to cheer about.
When's somebody gonna score? And
yeah,
but it was awesome. I mean, Seattle, they love us there, and they love their sports, and they really get behind us. And it was a really special day.
How have you seen like the fan base sort of evolve over time? Because obviously, I mean, there's a huge baseball contingency in Seattle, but I think it not peaked. I mean, like it can still continue to grow, but I'm talking like in terms of like fan passion, attendance. Like, what was it like to be a part of that game, and how long you could tell the fans are waiting for it?
Yeah, I mean, I think they've always, had that kind of hunger, kind of that drive to have a good team and, to get behind their teams. I think, obviously when I first got drafted, they take guys to games, whatever, and I think they're playing the Orioles, and it was pretty dead. And to see kind of how it's evolved even since I first, got called up in 21, and, how many fans are showing up, and, how much more interactive they're getting, and how much they're getting behind their players, and there's kind of cool things going around the city right now.
So you've got New England roots. Obviously, I feel like you get asked about that every time you come to Fenway. Your family is here from Vermont last night, and I was stunned. Anytime, I feel like baseball is obviously one of those sports where any night you can tune in and something can happen that's never happened before. But for like Fenway Park specific history, to be the first catcher to hit a home run from both sides of the plate. And obviously you're a Jason Varitek guy. The fact that he was in the dugout on the other side. I know you mentioned after the game, he gave you like a jersey last year.
Yeah, I got a signed jersey. Christopher Negron, our first base coach, he played in the Red Sox orgs for a little bit, so he got it hooked up for us. And he signed it, wrote a nice little note on there, and it's got it hanging up in my house. So
when did you first learn that you were the first catcher to do that at Fenway Park? And like, how cool is that? Because I know you're a Mariners guy now, but like you grew up a Red Sox fan. Like, how cool is that?
It's really cool. I mean, I didn't know until after the game. They said they had a fun fact for me, and obviously kind of blew up a little bit, but it's really cool. I mean, it's something that nobody can ever take that away from me, and to do it here is super special.
So you're how old are you?
26.
You're 26, so you probably don't even really remember 04, right?
It's. I mean, I remember it. I remember where I was when.
How old were you?
I was 8. So
okay.
I was still old enough to comprehend. Keith Folk to Edgar area, and but I was on I was back home in North Carolina. I remember I was laying on the floor. I don't know why I was laying on the floor, not on the couch, but I remember that moment. Obviously, me and my dad were watching the game, and it was, at the time I kind of feel spoiled because, I hadn't gone through the
misery.
I know, the super long curse, and at the time I was just super happy, and obviously, 3-4 more later, so.
Like you get to you're in the big leagues, you get to play in every single ballpark now, especially with the schedule the way that it is now. Like, do you still feel that like holy shit factor when you get to play at Fenway, or is it just like, oh, it's another day in the big leagues?
No, I mean, you definitely feel a little special walking in here, and you can definitely tell it from everybody. Whether we got more people traveling with us because they want to see the park, and either do super special stories, or just guys walking around, going on the Monster, going up into Ted Williams' seat up there, and you can just tell it's a different.
Do you think you hit
feeling.
I don't. No fucking way.
No,
there's no chance, dude. No,
he might have did it.
So, do you know the story about Ortiz?
No, I don't.
I was just telling one of the Mariners PR guys because they were like, we're going to go walk out to the red seat, and I was like, it's bullshit. So back, I think it was 2008, 2006, like somewhere in that range, Ortiz brought an aluminum bat out here and tried to hit the red seat, couldn't do it.
Really?
There's no chance that that's real.
I don't know.
If David Ortiz in his prime couldn't hit it with a metal bat, there's no way that Ted Williams in the 40s was able to do that.
You got to believe.
I don't believe.
You got to believe.
I don't believe. And I also don't believe that it's 502 feet. Like, do you know the Manny Ramirez story?
No.
So I think it was 2002-ish. Manny hit a home run into that light tower.
Okay.
And the Red Sox were like, let's call it 501 because that's 502, and they didn't want Manny's home run to be the longest home run in Fenway Park history. So that one was 501, even though it was 6,000 feet, and that one's 502, even though that's probably like 700 feet from home plate.
It's a long way. I mean,
it's a long way.
I mean, they were swinging trees back then, though. Literal trees.
David Ortiz with a metal bat in his prime.
I don't know.
There's no way. There's no way.
We'll never know.
I'm one of the biggest Red Sox fans in the world, and I'm sitting here saying it's not true. So there's no like blasphemy here if you say that you don't believe the rumor. So last night, 2 home runs. What would you say
like, you know, growing up a Red Sox fan, obviously it's like you hit the home run from both sides of the plate. When did you learn that you were a switch hitter? Or did you, growing up a Red Sox fan and being a fan of Jason Varitek, did you say, oh, he's a switch hitting catcher? Like, I want to try that. Like, because I think it's like crazy to me when you have someone that's like, that can hit at the big league level from both sides when most people can't do it from one side. When did you learn that you're a hitter guy?
So my dad was a coach, and growing up, you know, I think that was kind of his plan. You know, I was going to play baseball, and you know, from the minute I started swinging, I've been, you know, he switched me around to the other side. So I've never known any other way. I've always thought that everybody was supposed to switch it, and then obviously when you get to Little League and all that stuff, you learn that, you know, people usually hit from the right side, and you know, I'm just, you know, thankful that he switched me around that day early on when we were just, I don't know, you know, it's just as soon as I could swing. So
do you ever have a coach tell you that you got to pick one side?
Yeah, I've had people tell me. I've had people, you know, come in. Funny stories. I've been in. I was in like a Chili's bathroom.
Yeah.
And I had this like, I don't know who he was. It was a dad of somebody that I played with, and he came in and he gave me a rundown on how I couldn't be a, you know, I can't remember if it was a right-handed hitter or a left-handed hitter, but he's saying I needed to give it up, and that he knew that I was better at this side, and that he thinks I'd make it a little further if I would just stay on one side.
In a bathroom at Chili's. See, that would have been like a way better story if like you were exclusively a left-handed hitter and some dude in Chili's bathroom came up to you and was like, bro, you got to try hitting from the right side too. Like throw that into your repertoire.
It was completely out of pocket too. It was like I don't know. I don't even seen him in years, and like I don't even know if I even liked the guy in the first place. And he came up to me and said that. I'm like, all right, thanks, guy.
Appreciate your tip in this Chili's bathroom. So growing up a Red Sox fan, obviously we mentioned Jason Varitek. Who were your other players that you were fans of, like growing up? Like who was like the poster on the wall guy?
So I mean, it's obviously started with Nomar. You know,
yes.
So I love Nomar. I love the whole batting glove routine.
He would have hated the pitch clock.
It would have been tough for him.
Yeah.
It would have been tough.
His brand would have suffered in today's game.
I know. That's the sad part about the pitch clock.
Yeah.
But it was Nomar, obviously Big Papi, Manny. Turned into like, I saw Kevin Millar last night. That was very cool to meet him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even like the smaller guys on that team, like Pokey Reese and Mark Bellhorn.
No one gives Pokey any credit. Like Pokey Orlando Cabrera. You have him come over in that trade. Pokey Reese had a 2-home run game. I think it was in May. It was around this time in that season of 2004. He was a 1-season guy in Boston and instant legend. 1 year.
I know. And, you know, obviously turned into like Pedroia and then all the, you know, the newer guys. And it was just awesome. They did a great run there for a while.
You ever come here as a fan before?
Oh, yeah. I came here when I was little. And
what was like the most memorable game that you got to come to?
The most disappointing thing, we came to a game one time and they got rained out. They were playing the Blue Jays, but I think the most memorable moment was they were playing the Rangers and Doug Mirabelli was catching. And
did he go deep?
Tim Wakefield, he did.
Of course he did.
He went deep, and then it was cool. Manny Ramirez didn't start the game, but he came off the bench to pinch hit, and I had his shirt underneath one of my jerseys, so I ripped off my jersey and started rooting him on, but he popped up.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Manny's the best. So I'm in search of the best pitch in baseball. I'm asking a bunch of guys, who do you think has the best singular pitch in baseball? You're going to have an interesting perspective because you're seeing it from both sides of the batter's box and behind the plate. In your experience, who has the best pitch in baseball? And I know that like when we do ask guys, they don't even want to say it because they don't want to give credit to someone that isn't on their team. But you've got to have an answer on that one.
That's a tough one.
Have you seen Devin Williams' changeup?
I haven't seen that.
Okay.
I've heard it's really good.
Yep.
There's a lot of good ones out there. I think one of the toughest pitches is a splitter, and you know
Nathan Eovaldi, Texas Rangers.
I wouldn't say his. I would say he's got a good splitter for sure.
Yeah.
I think Ohtani's. I saw Frankie Montas had a really good splitter a couple years ago.
Who's that?
Tell you what,
Duran. He's got like the
Splinker.
Yeah, he's got like the 99 mile an hour splitter with the 100 mile an hour fastball that rides.
That one's tough.
Yeah.
I tell you what, Kenley Jansen's cutter. That's a tough one.
Yeah. Well, now it's 99 apparently.
Yeah. Yeah, it keeps getting better. So.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been outrageous. All right, last question before we let you go because I know you got stuff to do. A lot of downtime for baseball players. You're traveling a lot. What are we watching on flights? Are you a nap guy on flights? Are you a book guy? Are you a movie guy? Are you a show guy?
So on flights, I like to play cards, but the table gets full sometimes, and get the high rollers on there, obviously. But I mix it up, take naps, watch shows. I like watching The Office. Kind of, it's my go-to.
Did you do Game of Thrones?
I didn't do Game of Thrones.
Okay, so I didn't either. I get judged a lot for those. Like you mentioned, because we were talking earlier about like favorite movies. You mentioned Shawshank Redemption. I've never seen it. People look at me like I have 5 heads when I've never seen that. The Office, never seen it. And people are always like, how have you never seen The Office? My explanation for that is that that's everyone's favorite show. So if I start watching it now, then I'm going to want to come to someone like you who says it's your favorite show and be like, hey, like, this really funny episode. And you're like, yeah, dude, like I saw that 8 years ago. Like there's no circle of people who are just starting to watch The Office right now.
No, not right now.
I need to find like a support group of people that are like first time Office watchers so you can talk about the episodes together, because otherwise I'm going to feel like I'm bothering people.
Well, or you just get guys like me who just keep rewatching it over and over and just, constantly have, some part of The Office going on.
You ever do Breaking Bad?
I did.
How many times?
Great show. I did. I wouldn't say twice, like 1.5.
Okay.
I think I restarted it 7?
7.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
Dude, I say that and I've watched The Office at least 10 times.
Yeah.
So
yeah. But those are
shows.
Half-hour episodes that you can put on and fall asleep to, and it doesn't like you don't have to pay attention.
It's like background noise.
Yeah, like Breaking Bad. Like when you start that, you're making a choice. Like I'm locked in for like the next.
Those
5
are the
weeks.
best shows though. When you can lock in like that, and you're like, I can't be on my phone. I can't be web, Instagram, whatever.
Yeah.
You gotta be locked in those.
Yeah. All right. Well, you're apparently locked in. 2 homers last night. I would say good luck, but I am a Red Sox fan. I know deep down you are too, so it's okay. Cal Raleigh, Seattle Mariners. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Appreciate it.
Wow. Surprise impromptu Cal Raleigh interview right in the middle of a possum, Aroldis Chapman cheating allegation discussion. Yeah. Wow. You just never know what you're going to get on Baseball's Dead. From the clouds. We've had that just fall into your lap. You're welcome. We didn't talk about the Domingo German situation. Domingo German was ejected after, what was it? I don't know, call it 3-4 starts ago. The umpires are like, hey man, your hands are really sticky. Why don't you go wash them off? He was given the benefit of the doubt, which is, let's be honest.
Crazy.
Just like another pitcher we just talked about, probably shouldn't be given the benefit of the doubt as it pertains to their character. Was asked to wash his hands. It was a whole thing. Last night in Toronto, this was before he even threw a pitch in the inning. He was coming out. It wasn't coming off the mound. It was coming from the dugout onto the mound. And the umpires were like, nope, fuck that. And it's not like, to my knowledge, I know like Phil Cuzzy is the guy that has kicked out every single pitcher to this point. It was not Cuzzy this time. There was a conference. There was a consensus developed here. And I still don't know. Like no one has checked me on this. He's like the main Yankees beat writer. I don't know if it's Brian Hawk. Is it Hawk? It can't be Hotch. It's got to be Hawk. Brian Hawk. I'm going to say Hotch. Hotch.
I didn't think about him one time since the last time we talked about him.
Brian Hotch. Brian Hockey. He tweeted, crew chief James Hoy said that Domingo German's hand was the, quote, stickiest I've ever felt, and it was, quote, definitely not rosin.
Well, you take a look at Domingo's pantalones, and that'll tell you.
Well, that was dip. Like I tweeted that clip out, but there was the extended version of that clip was he took a wad of dip out of his mouth and then rubbed it on his pants. There was some residue, maybe, I don't know, but
I'm also talking about you could see a little stain on his pant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so
was it sticky?
Well,
could have been.
I can speak from experience and tell you that there are different things that you can do that you can put on your clothing that will help keep that area moist. So instead of having to go to your lips, your mouth, whatever, you can go to this spot. And depending on what substance you choose to use, there can be a certain level of tack that comes along with this moist area.
Moist.
And so depending on your mix de jure, that wet spot could be a nothing. That wet spot could be everything.
I was analyzing Mr. Erman's actions on the mound, and I see him. He does a lot of this with his fingers. It's like he's touching his fingers, but I don't see him go into his hat, his belt, his wet pants. I just see him doing this. So to me, as expert me, I guess if he's doing anything, he's coming out from the dugout with it applied. Or I don't even know if that's possible because they check and come out of the dugout. So,
they check you intermittently. It could be coming out of the dugout, could be coming out of the bullpen as a reliever. It could not be coming off the field. They've switched it up for those reasons. And to your, like, as far as what you've just said about him continuing to go to the fingers, something you do is if you don't stick your fingers together for a while and then you do it, that could create a little more tack initially. So you have to like kind of de-stick them. And then the more you do it like this, like you're saying, the more comfortable you get with the level of tack. So you're not surprised with how much resistance is being created by your tack, or you're not surprised by how much anchor you actually have with the level of tack that you have. So if you do this, you kind of spread it out, maybe help dissipate it a little. Again, I'm not saying that that's what Domingo German's doing. I'm telling you that that's something that I did.
If you're going to come out and say that it's the stickiest hand you've ever seen, then I absolutely need a power ranking of hand stickiness that you've encountered in your life after that. You cannot just make a claim and walk away.
Right.
This is the stickiest hand I've ever felt. Oh, really?
Is this like 14-year-old Playboy edition centerfold? My hand is sticky. Like what is this?
I just want to know. You can't be tossing out editorializing like that without some hard and fast follow-up. Give me a P ranks.
I'm gonna get on that, honestly, but make my own power ranking.
Dude, that should be your next video, just all about hand stickiness and who had the stickiest hand of all time in investigation.
My question is, if you're an umpire who's checked guys' hands now for 3 years, and obviously guys are still using sweat and rosin, so it's not like there's no tack, but if you have, I'm sure, felt spider tack, like I don't think anyone is dumb enough to be like, yeah, let's bring back spider tack, like even though they're checking us like off and on like every other inning. Like, what is he using? Like, what could it be? Or is it just like it's too much rosin?
It can be that. It can be again, rosin, sweat, rosin, any other substance, whatever. Yes, like that stuff clumps up. It starts to clump up and becomes sticky and just gets, messy.
Well, it's that video when Bauer was on with the ESPN broadcast and he just like drops his hand and the ball is stuck to the top of his hand. He's like, is this legal or illegal? And it was just sweat and rosin. Mm-hmm. Like the ball was stuck to his hand.
David Cohn did the same thing on air. I mean, I forget. I showed a ball. I still have a ball. And I haven't tested it. I have a ball from 3 years ago, that was pulled out of the game at the Coliseum with Bauer on the mound that you could still feel
like the fingerprints.
Yep.
Oh, you could still feel the tack on it?
Absolutely. Yep. This was years after.
Yeah.
So it's there. It's still there.
There was an interesting quote from Booney, and he said, where is it right now? Basically said, like, we have a very good idea of what the line is. Apparently, Domingo crossed it, which is interesting to me, like, because it kind of just goes back what everyone kind of knows. It's like there is a level of stickiness and shit you can use that's technically illegal that umpires don't care. But there is a line where if it's that stickier than that, they will call you on it. And Boone says that they know the line and it's like obvious and it's been, cleared out. That's never been public though. Like MLB's never been like, because you can't, I don't know what metric you would use, but that was interesting.
No scale, like for a fucking jalapeno, the Scoville scale, how many units of heat? How hot is this thing? Like we don't have a sticky Scoville scale.
Well, they were probably working on it. I wouldn't be surprised. Manfred, man. I got faith in Manfred.
I'll hold my breath.
And I think I'm pretty sure, I'm 90% sure it was the same umpiring crew, right? That got him the first time.
Mm-hmm.
They let him go. So that probably has a lot to do with it too. Because I bet he's been doing the same thing every single game and gotten away with it. The same shit.
Well, now they're going to have a really, really, really solid line on what they should not do.
And if you look at his spin rates are up like the past few years, especially on the curve, and there's things to do to make your curve spin rate go up other than use sticky substance. But it's probably, that's likely has something to do with it.
Well, he is a piece of shit. So
I guess there's that too.
Am I wrong?
That's what I heard. I've heard it.
Yeah. Speaking of pieces of shit. You see Zack Hample?
Wow. What are you angry about, Zach? What are you angry with Zack Hample for?
Normally, like I would say historically, I've been very neutral, like erring on the side of I don't like him, but I've been very like just apathetic towards Zack Hample. I'm not like a shout it from the rooftops, I hate Zack Hample guy. I just kind of like, he's there and I see you, but I don't want to acknowledge you. There was a video. So this dude, AJ Rodriguez, he's a Twitch streamer, huge baseball fan, and he's like known as like the Cedric Mullins guy. And the Orioles had him out as a guest of honor. I believe it was for his birthday. And so he comes out, he meets Ced. He's confined to a wheelchair. He met Cedric Mullins on the field before the game. He's got pictures with everyone. He's wearing a Team USA Cedric Mullins jersey. They show him on the big board, and it was his night. It was his night, hosted by the Orioles. It was his night, and he was just like, man, if only Cedric Mullins could hit a home run, this would be the icing on the cake. Guess who hits a home run?
Zack Hample.
Cedric Mullins hits the home run. And guess who catches it, Dallas?
Yeah. Zack Hample, the man solely responsible for growing the game of baseball.
Mm-hmm. He did it.
Zack Hample.
So Zack Hample catches the baseball, and a fan comes up to him and says this.
Oh, we got the guy who caught the Mullins home run. You going to give it to AJ? You got to give it to AJ. You got to go find him down there. Come on.
Give it to AJ?
AJ, the Mullins kid.
The Mullins kid? I don't know.
Mullins guy. Oh.
I'm the Mullins guy tonight.
Oh, Zach. Yeah. I love it. When I hear that, I only hope he was doing this, like with two thumbs pointing at himself. Tonight, I'm the Mullins guy.
Zack Hample sounds exactly like what I thought Zack Hample would sound like.
Oh, that is great because he does. He does sound like just a fucking weaselly little. Well, tonight I'm the Mullins guy. Yeah. Like you little fucking twerp. God. But look, I'll say this: as much as I'm fucking wearing him out, like, bro. He caught the ball.
Come on. Give it to AJ?
AJ, the Mullins kid.
The Mullins kid? I don't know.
Mullins guy. Oh.
I'm the Mullins guy tonight.
Yeah, I'm the fucking Mullins guy tonight, bitches. Fuck AJ. Who's AJ? Huh? Who's that kid? Oh, whatever. I'm the fucking like, dude. But look, this is part of what Zack Hample signed up for. Like, if you're the guy who's constantly catching balls and saying that you're giving them away, you give more balls away to people that, it never gets talked about. It never would. Well, this would be like on a fucking platter for you right here, right now, Zack Hample. Like if you've ever given a ball away and wanted it to mean something, or were ever looking to just fire one off in the face of the haters, that's exactly what you do. You go find AJ, yo, here's your ball. But Zack Hample said, you know what? I don't give a fuck. I bought my ticket. I'm here to catch these balls, and I caught these balls. So you can catch these balls because I'm not giving this ball to fucking the Cedric Mullins guy. Why? Because I'm the fucking Mullins guy tonight, baby.
Baby.
The idea that anybody would expect Hample to demonstrate like any shame or like that's not his brand. That's not what's happening here. He travels the world catching home run balls and is like has to be so lonely when it comes right down to it. Like goes back to his
you gotta
back to his hotel
he
room.
hangs out with
unlocks
Lisa
the door.
Ann. He hangs out with Lisa Ann. Like that's a fact. The porn star.
Who's that?
Oh, dude,
she's like the most.
She's
One of the most. She's on like the Mount Rushmore of porn stars. Lisa Ann, big Zack Hample guy.
Jayhay, I didn't know that either.
I'm gonna have to.
She did like my Instagram post recently, so shout out.
I'm gonna
Lisa
have to
Ann.
safely Google Lisa Ann. But that makes me think that Lisa Ann is also trying. To fill a hole in her heart.
She's also a ball hawk. So
yeah,
they're acting. Jared, they're acting like they don't know Lisa Ann, bro.
That sounds like one of those friendships that's probably not real.
Listen, I'll tell you this.
Just two lonely people just kind of hanging out with each other and like sort of talking past each other, at each other, not with each other. No.
If we're gonna listen, we're having our fun with Hample. It's all fun and games, but you guys not knowing who Lisa Ann is way more surprising and
Dallas
not believable.
Dallas is full of shit.
If you guys don't know who Lisa Ann is, then like it's plausible that fucking Zack Hample doesn't know who AJ is.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think I definitely believe that Hample does not know who AJ is. I think
it's hard to know. He was at the game that they're like honor, like it was his night. They like fucking honor him on the big board.
Hample's reaction sounds way too genuine. Like we're all laughing at Dallas's version of it, but like that to me strikes me as a dude who did not know who the Mullins guy was.
He did know. I was at the game, dude. I was there, and I know the Mullins guy. I know Lil Man 17. He's a beast. He's on Twitch. Go to check his Twitch out. He's an MLB The Show legend.
I knew him afterwards.
I can't escape him.
The video.
I knew him once they put him
putting
on
him on the
TV.
Jumbotron and shit. And I was thinking in the crowd. Like,
that's what somebody just kind of casually sitting in the crowd would do is look at the Jumbotron. A guy trying to position himself for every home run that could be hit isn't wasting time with bullshit like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Head down.
Most people didn't know who he was. Like you have to be on Twitter and be tapped in to know who the Cedric Mullins guy was.
To go back to
give it to AJ.
AJ, the Mullins kid.
The Mullins kid. I don't.
Mullins guy. Oh,
I'm the Mullins guy tonight.
I'm the Mullins guy tonight.
I'm the Mullins guy tonight, you motherfuckers.
I think the last porn person that I could identify by name is Ron Jeremy.
Yeah, no, I looked up Lisa Ann. She's clearly done a lot of work. But no,
veteran of the game.
Yes, it's very, very outside the norm in that industry. I love all the never done any work to themselves performers in the porn industry.
I've never seen this person in my life.
I meant just her Rolodex.
That's crazy to me.
Not any physical work.
You guys saying that you've never heard of Lisa Ann is like me being like, I've never heard of like Hank Aaron.
I don't. What?
Like, Hank Aaron, who's that? Who did he play for?
Jeez, somebody needs to pray for your foreskin if that's the case.
The pitcher, Hank Aaron.
There's a good chance you've rubbed through many, many layers that should probably still be there.
Yo, being friends with Lisa Ann is way less impressive now than it was 30 seconds ago. Now that I've looked, I don't care at all. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't let Lisa Ann take me out for coffee.
There you go.
They go out for coffee.
I wouldn't let her. I'm saying.
Okay.
I would say no.
Zack Hample's a nice guy. He'll entertain people like that. Fans, like he's a good, genuine guy. It's like, yeah, I'll hang out with Lisa Ann, a fan. Like I'm a good guy. Like I get foul balls, I get home runs, and I give them the kids most of the time. Sometimes
I know.
Sometimes the Cedric Mullins, and you're the Cedric Mullins guy. Keep it.
Was initiated. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a feeling it was Hample reaching out to Lisa Ann and not the other way around. But
yeah,
that's just
reaching out, reaching in, reaching back out, reaching in, reaching out, reaching in, reaching out, reaching.
Disgusting. This is beneath you.
That's why I don't watch her programming.
Wow. You're above that.
Yeah, we've
Mine's
opted
too
for
pure.
Bluey in my household instead of Lisa Ann.
BaseballSavant.com.
Wow. That's Jayhay's porn. Is seeing fucking red dots on Baseball Savant.
Yeah, Ronald Acuna's Baseball Savant page. That's my Lisa Ann.
Yeah. Yeah. Barry Bonds' baseball reference page is my Lisa Ann.
Pure porn. Pure porn.
Yeah. Tyler Glasnow's minor league rehab start highlights from yesterday. That's my porn.
Yeah. Well, that's like amateur porn, right?
Yeah.
Little Grady video.
Yeah.
Maybe some shaking of the camera going on, some poor lighting, but you know what? The result, I'm here till the end.
That was some amateur POV porn yesterday. Tyler Glasnow's rehab assignment.
He was looking thick, bro. Wasn't he looking bigger?
Yeah.
He's
a thick
jacked,
boy,
dude.
Mm-hmm.
He's looking jacked.
They'll be back soon. That's why it's like, oh wow, we lose Springs and Rasmussen, and it's like, all right,
Rasmussen.
Yeah, fucking just made him German for no reason.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say he's like now a part of some fucking fairy tale story. Rasmussen, the evil Rasmussen. What the fuck? Wasn't there like a music store called Rasputin or some shit? Like
I don't know.
You got the raised bullpen slinging CDs.
No, Rasputin is is the historical figure that you're talking about.
I know, but I feel like there was also like a music store called Rasputin.
Yeah, it sounds like something that a character in Mortal Kombat would say before throwing a punch.
Yeah, Rasmussen. It's a new fatality.
Yeah.
You just get a slider thrown at you, fucking cuts you in half. Rasmussen wins.
Good times. Are the Cardinals back?
Oh, they're on their way back. They're on their way back. I'll tell you who's fucking back.
Two guys. Nolan Arenado, 5 straight games of the home run. Also, all that talk that we just did about Jack Flaherty, the velocity is his media run-in after his last start. Don't ask me about velocity. He was sitting 95, 7 innings, 10 strikeouts, 1 earned run. Everyone's back. The Cardinals are winning baseball games. Nolan Arenado's homering in every single game, and Jack Flaherty is shoving.
Can I just... Doesn't the fact that Flaherty came out and threw 95 and shoved with Wilson Contreras behind the plate, doesn't that make all of this stuff first of all, it justifies everything we said about Flaherty's fastball velocity and how fucking nonsense that was, that he was going to be succeeding at 89 or 90 and that was actually part of the game plan. I feel like the last week of Cardinals talk is like a fucking fever dream with like like the Wilson Contreras thing wasn't real. The Jack Flaherty thing of talking to the reporters, like, did that happen? Why did that happen? Like, it's
Jayhay,
Nolan Arenado being terrible for the first month plus of the season and then just going unconscious and hitting home runs and cockwalking the fucking Red Sox pitching staff and all that. Like, I just feel
10
like
days ago, Joey and Jared were trying to facilitate the firing of Ollie Marmol. 10 days ago, they were doing
That was
everything
Joey.
They were
Sell
doing.
the
It's still good. It's still
Sell
Bob
the
guarantee.
team.
It's a Bob guarantee. I'm sticking by the Bob
It's
guarantee.
the Bob guarantee.
1 week, guys. Come on.
Yeah, see, yeah, the Cardinals. They're believe it or not, they've rebounded from having a bad moment in their season, early in their season.
A bad month, yeah. I thought it was ridiculous too. When you weren't here, it was me and Jayhay were just fucking spitting bars on the Cardinals. Like, that video went viral. Cardinals fans fucking hated it.
Yeah, I got called a hater like once or twice.
Yeah.
Don't care.
Like, when we open up the voicemail lines.
I feel fully justified about how all that played out. Everything we've said about the Cardinals has been it's been even more prescient than I anticipated at the time we said it.
Yeah. I'm also an Ollie Marmol guy after we met. And super nice guy. Love talking to him. We're going to get him on the... I asked him to come on the podcast. He said, yeah.
Sounds great. Might be a little weird with Dallas and Joey here, but
yeah,
just you and me do it, man.
Those are usually solo missions anyway. Jared, you go interview Garen or whatever. Ollie
interview Bob Garen
in the dugout, far away from he, bro, because I'm going to say some shit that I'm going to regret.
The Dodgers come to Fenway, I believe, in August. I'm going to put in a request with their PR department to get Bob Garen. He's going to be like, why? Why do you want to talk to me? Like, you know. Don't act like you don't know why. You know why.
Hashing out some old friendships.
Yeah.
Finally get some closure.
Does he hate you as much as you hate him, Dallas?
I don't hate the man. And I can't imagine.
No, you like. I know that you have to like say that on the air, but like what you said off the air was that you fucking hated the guy.
That's not what I said off the air.
Jake, hit pause. Oh, pause. Okay. What? Yeah, we paused. So just say it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you about that son of a. There's no ill feelings, Jared. There's no ill feelings whatsoever. I mean, I probably.
Is this like a time heals all wounds thing where you're just like, you used to fucking hate him and wanted him to get shipped off to Japan like Bobby Valentine, but now you're just like, whatever, you can go sit on the bench for the Dodgers?
Time does not heal all wounds. I know that's a nice little saying and that's fun. That's just not true.
So you still hate Bob Garen is what you're saying?
I don't hate Bob Garen.
Okay. But does he hate you, do you think?
He very well could. I don't know that I don't know that I gave him a reason to.
Oh, I mean, just the unemployment line.
Well, I was,
How many kids does he have?
I'm only one guy. I believe he has 2.
Oh, so just 2 mouths to feed and no source of income because of Dallas Braden. I'm sure he loves you. Yeah.
No, he's doing just fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
I'm sure the labor market's real robust for a 61-year-old man.
Mm-hmm. I hope someday, Dallas, when you're 61, that someone doesn't try to take the food off your table.
Anyway, anybody who really knows Bob Garen would know that his wife's name is Pam and his kids are named Bobby and Brett.
See? Tight-knit group.
Yeah. Well, we'll see him in St. Louis soon. But if he's still with the Dodgers in August, I will be putting in that media request.
I can't wait for that interview.
It's going to be... Wait, it's episode 100? What the fuck?
Let's go.
The Hondos.
Now, what did I do wrong? What did I see wrong?
I feel like we should have made that a bigger deal.
Probably.
They're just
probably.
It's just
it is, it's a big deal.
It's episode 100. Baseball is dead. Wow, 100 episodes.
Fired
of
up.
The best baseball podcast that you've ever listened to in your life. Congratulations to us. Thank you to Dallas, Joey, Jayhay, Jake on the 1s and 2s. Wow, thank you to all the listeners for tuning in. Breaking news, it is episode 100 of Baseball is Dead. Does it feel like it's been 100 episodes?
No, feels like it's been like 600.
Feels more like 15 or 20 for me.
Yeah. Where did we leave off on? I can't even go back and check to see how many episodes of Starting 9 we did because they fucking deleted our entire archive, which I don't know. It doesn't make a ton of sense because wouldn't you want the downloads? I know people go back and listen to old episodes of Section 10. Wouldn't you want the good baseball content to be accessible on your feed?
My favorite part is that it's just all not good enough that they're still utilizing old clips and old merchandise. And come on, what do you expect?
That's too bad because there's some good shit on there. I referenced in the Nolan Arenado interview how this is the 4th or 5th time that we've interviewed him, but all those interviews are just poof. Gone.
Yeah.
It's okay though. Because baseball season's rolling and it's the best time of the year. There are games on all day, every day. And when I'm watching all the games and recording all these podcasts every week, it can be tough to get a handle on it all. But thanks to the Xfinity 10G network, I can stay on top of everything. With Xfinity 10G, you can power an entire house full of devices with ultra-low lag so you and everyone that you know can stream every single game at the same time and never miss a pitch. And if you're on the go, Xfinity has your back with millions of Wi-Fi hotspots. Introducing the next generation 10G network only from Xfinity. The future starts now. Learn more at xfinity.com/10G. Dallas, you got to get out of here?
I got to go. I gotta go.
What's your final thought?
Pack up.
You got a final thought?
Final thought. I hate to be so like in the moment with things, but we've got the Diamondbacks in town right now, and watching them play baseball is fun for me because they are a group kind of like the Guardians, who maybe they're not going to lead the league in homers, but when you look at what they do as a group in totality, and they need some help out of the bullpen, but they've got guys on the mound that excite you. And the way they run the bases, they're not afraid to try to create offense. They fucking, at times they'll turn the damn base path into a track meet. I like the brand of baseball that I see, and they've got young, exciting guys to pay attention to. I'm really enjoying watching Corbin Carroll play these couple games. It's just, and I know, talking to some of the guys, they've got a great idea of what the landscape looks like in their division, but to their credit, they play with a belief that says we're not worried about what the Padres are supposed to be doing. We're not worried about what the Dodgers are inevitably going to do and going to be. We like what we're doing here, and we like what the future looks like as well, because they've got some guys on the way. And so I was talking to Gonzo, and it's just it's maybe a team that plays good baseball, exciting, that you might not have on your radar just because there's not a lot of hype surrounding them. It's not a superstar here, but it's a fun brand of baseball to watch.
It's a good take. Lourdes Gurriel, that's who you're playing right now, the D-backs?
Yeah, and the fucking
work around Lourdes. He's fucking hot right now.
For the first 5 innings, I kept calling him Yuli. It was like Yuli, and our producer's like, this is the Gurriel that was in Toronto. And I was like, yeah, so Yuli, the fucking my producer was finally he goes, Toronto, you're wrong. So his last at bat, I was like, well, the fucking guy rakes. I mean, this is what the Gurriel family does. This is why I've been fucking it up for 3 innings. They got another Gurriel coming. So yeah, it's been fun to watch. Yeah, and he is fucking hot.
Hot right now. Did he hit two yesterday?
No.
Just one?
No, just one.
Damn. Well, congratulations, Dallas, on 100 episodes. Baseball's dead.
Couldn't have done it without you guys.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Thank you.
You go do your thing. Go A's. Let's get number 11.
That's right. Like where your head's at.
The only other thing that I want to briefly hit on, I guess, was Kumar Rocker is getting Tommy John surgery. So, shit story. Another dude where it's like you had that Vandy class where it was Jack Leiter, Kumar Rocker. The Texas Rangers end up with both of them. They really don't have either of them because Jack Leiter's not exactly lighting it up in the minors. I talked about this on the other podcast about how, like in that draft, what was that, 2021 draft? I was like, oh man, I hope the Red Sox, they have the number 4 pick. Like, let's get Jack Leiter. He goes at number 2 to the Texas Rangers. And between last year and this year so far in 7 starts at AA, it hasn't looked good. 92 and 2/3 innings, 5.5 ERA. He's got a 4.35 in 31 innings, 7 starts this year. And then Kumar Rocker, who obviously, as you know, got dicked around in the draft with the Mets and the medicals, and it looks like, hey, finally, is that a win for the Mets?
Yeah,
not
Mets
that you celebrate a guy going under the knife, but I mean, their cause for concern seems legitimate now, does it not?
Yeah, and Correa too. They got a great medical staff over there in New York, man. You got to tip your cap. They know when you're gonna be bad. It's like, but they were kind of right, I guess.
My only take with Rocker is that I'm glad he got his money. I'm glad he got $5 million as his signing bonus with the Rangers because he was worked incredibly hard in college. And, to some extent he signed up for that. And I'm not just dumping on college baseball right now, but a lot of those guys don't end up seeing their money. So, and it looked like for a second that he wasn't going to either. So I know it was below slot, but I'm glad he got his money from the Rangers, and hopefully he gets back on the mound and can be effective.
Yeah. Jayhay, you got any tasty hot nugs for us?
Yeah, sure. I can wrap up with some of those. A few things. Shout out to, we've talked about Sean Murphy, Matt Olson, Matt Chapman, all the AJ Puck, all the former A's doing big things in baseball right now. Jesus Luzardo, another one that we should not forget. Another really good start last night. Going back to the start of last season, we've now seen almost a full, what I would think of as a full workload from Jesus Luzardo. 151 and 2/3 innings across 27 starts. He's got a 3.26 ERA, 175 strikeouts. So might be finally putting it all together. Another arm for that Marlins. And by the way, Yuri Perez, this is our first we podcast on we did one since he started last. Eerie how similar he is since Eerie how similar he is to Alcantara, visually, wind-up wise. But that's, again, even though they dealt Lopez, that's going to be a fun rotation to watch if they can ever get some offense. Kevin Gausman, we brought him up briefly earlier on the podcast. He had his 4th double-digit strikeout game of the season already. Not only does that lead Major League Baseball, but he had 4 such starts all of last season. So Gausman already a high strikeout guy, amping up this year. Shout out to one former Red Sox and one current Red Sox. Mike Petriello tweeted out Mookie Betts' speed score on Savant year by year. And while Mookie's still playing great baseball, it is interesting to look at what's happened to his speed, where he's basically gone from the 90th percentile to, I believe, the 35th percentile this season, and it's been a steady decline with each and every season. So that made me turn around and look at what he's hitting on ground balls over the last 4 seasons, because that's where you would think it would impact it from a batted ball standpoint. In 2020, which we all know was an abbreviated season, he hit 367 on ground balls. 21, he hit 216, so a 150-point drop. 201 last year, he's hitting 162 on ground balls this year. Something to watch. And then on the positive side, Masataka Yoshida. I'm sure he's getting plenty of love on Name Redacted, but I wanted to throw him some love too. Since April 20th, 420, probably not a coincidence, Yoshida is hitting 375 with a 423 on-base percentage and a 648 slugging. That is the 3rd highest WOBA in Major League Baseball since April 20th. Only 2 people are ahead of him. That's Lourdes Gurriel and Christian Walker, actually. Two Diamondbacks, as it turns out. But what an interesting turn for him in the 23 season, where all he could do is hit ground balls and record outs through the first 2.5 weeks of the season, and then he's just been fucking unconscious since then. So pretty cool to see.
Yeah, he has, Jayhay. Yes, he has. Masataka Yoshida is a fucking lock for the Rookie of the Year on the DraftKings Sportsbook. If you didn't get him preseason, you're an absolute fool. He's hitting the shit out. He actually had his first big league triple last night.
Wow.
The guy is an absolute stud, and he wears his pants up to his fucking nipples, Jayhay. Pull the pants up, get the OBP up, get the OPS up. We love fucking Masataka Yoshida. I gotten a lot of requests for the positivity horn on Baseball's Day.
No, that's great.
It felt like the right opportunity because you brought it up, not me.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that was coming. So that was exciting for me. It was a nice
That was exciting.
It was a nice compliment to the stats. And then my final thought is that Rasputin Music is a music store, still going on 5 current locations in the state of California. So go ahead and check it out. Rasputin Music Facebook page, have all the information you need. I'm good.
Joey, any final thoughts?
There's too many to pick from, but
hit them all. I'm
going to keep it in the Braves world. The Braves have been struggling the past few games. I'm not going to lie. The Braves have not been looking that good. They got swept by the Blue Jays, which was kind of bullshit. We kind of got fucked over. Strider got fucked over with a bad call. Then we went to Toronto. We were in Toronto, and
Outfielders can't see the fucking ball. We missed like 5 fly balls. Should have won 2 out of 3. Got swept. Whatever. But I'm not trying to be negative. I'm trying to be positive here because we got Charlie Morton, who's 47 years old right now. All right. This guy, how old is he for real? 40?
37?
No. He's at least
38?
He's at least 39. Either way.
I think he's 39. He is 39. He's 39.
So he's 39. And right now we're in 2023. Okay. If you look at his savant in 2012, that is 11 years ago. So he was 28. He was averaging 91 mile per hour fastball. 2023, he's averaging 94.1. He's basically added 4 miles per hour to his fastball since he was in his prime, which is crazy. He's got, you look at savant, if you look at the freaking pitch arsenals, he's got, in terms of run value, the best pitch in the league with his curveball this year, which is insane. And I was kind of shitting on him early in the year, saying I don't really trust him, but he's been a beast. And it's important because we're down Kyle Wright and we're down Max Fried, which is tough. But Max Fried has stepped up, same as Bryce Elder. But also, what I wanted to touch on too is another negative thing is Ozzie Albies. His splits in terms of batting righty and lefty have gotten to the point where it's like, why doesn't he just bat righty every time? Have you seen this, Jayhay?
I looked at it last week because I was looking at him for fantasy reasons. But at that, I did notice that. You would know more about whether he can just ditch the left side and go all righty and whether that's good for him. But I definitely noticed the numbers for sure.
It's wild though. So this year, this year, when he's batting righty, he has a 1.29 OPS, like best in the league. Lefty, he's got a 574. And if you go to his whole career, it's like, I think it's not that bad, but it's bad. I think he's been a league average hitter in terms of OPS, but when he's batting lefty, it's like an 85 OPS plus. Batting righty, it's like 130. So they just even each other out to be an average hitter. But if he's batting righty, he's going off. And you would say, well, yeah, obviously it's easier to bat righty if you're facing a lefty. So you're expecting that. But he's batted 10 times righty on righty, 10 at bats. He's 4 for 10 with 3 home runs. I know it's a small sample size. Maybe they're position players. Yeah. I don't know. But like, there's got to be a point where it's like, bro, just do righty.
Yeah, I think my expectations just got too high for Albies in general. And I think I just need to dial it back that he's just an imperfect player who, you know, the type of season that he has is probably going to be driven by how many home runs does he hit, like in that season, because the OBP seems like it's always going to be something of a problem, and he doesn't have necessarily the bat to ball skills to, you know, just run into a 300. I mean, he's never hit 300 in the big leagues. So very good player, maybe an all-star depending on which season we're talking about. But I personally got a little too high, I think, coming off that early stretch of his career.
Yeah, it's just it blows my mind because I agree. I kind of feel the same way. But it's like, bro, like what point were they just going to make him bat righty? He's a beast, dude. He hits bombs righty, lefty. He looks terrible. And you're right. He swings at everything. I mean, he's not a bad player, but if he batted righty, he'd be better than Acuna, apparently.
Yeah. No, the difference between him this year and last year is basically, I mean, I could look further into this for the next podcast, but it's all pop right now. It's just 100 points of slugging because he has 10 homers in 42 games instead of 8 and 64 like he had last year. But he's not drawing more walks. His strikeout to walk rate is not better. He's not stealing bags again like he did in 21. He's got 4 stolen bases in 106 games since the start of last year. So yeah, whatever the new rules are not impacting Ozzie's desire.
Yeah,
not the end of the world.
He had an ankle injury last year. That's probably it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Did miss a lot of time. Yeah, he only played.
But I'm telling you, bro, if he ever switches to righty only, you better pick him up in fantasy because I swear to God, he will be Acuna if he bats righty. That's my hypothesis, at least. And I fancy myself as a strong baseball mind.
I'm not going to dispute that, certainly. Not as one of the 5 members is the greatest podcast going. Yeah, what's up, Jake?
So if you've been following along on Twitter, I have been highlighting that Ronald Acuna Jr. does not hit a cheap home run ever. He's riding like 7 or 8 straight consecutive home runs of like 450 feet plus. But what if I told you that he doesn't even have the highest average exit velocity on his own team? What if I told you?
I believe it.
Who is it, brother?
Ozuna. Psych.
Nope.
Matt Olson.
No. Matt Olson. The average exit velocity leader in Major League Baseball, Aaron Judge. Yep. Aaron Judge. You're never going to guess number 2.
Sean Murphy.
Number 3. Nope. Number 3, Matt Olson. Number 4, Matt Chapman. That's sad for Dallas. I'm sad Dallas wasn't here for that. Matt Olson, number 3, Matt Chapman, number 4, Ronald Acuna, number 5.
It's number 2.
But the second...
Let me guess. Can we guess?
MJ Melendez.
Okay.
Number 2. So put it this way.
I'll get
Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge's average exit velocity is 95.9. Number 2 is 95.8.
Joey Gallo.
Nope.
Fuck.
Melendez.
Nope. He's, I believe, 6. He is. Yes, he's 6.
Rooker.
Nope. You're never going to guess.
All right, well, I got to go to lunch, so I guess I should bail if I'm literally never going to guess.
You're never going to guess. Yandy Diaz.
Good bat.
Yandy Diaz.
Good exit velocity guy. Yeah.
He's right up Aaron Judge's ass for the highest average exit velocity in Major League Baseball to start the year. Crazy. Fun fact. Jake's takes before we get out of here.
Just love hearing the positivity horn on Baseball is Dead. I think people are going to be fired up for that.
Yeah, I agree. I'm excited. That we got to break it out. Thank you to Jayhay for giving me the opportunity to sneak it in there. And thank you to the listeners for 100 episodes of Baseball is Dead. Appreciate you listening. If you were here for episode 1, if you hopped in somewhere along the way, again, tell your friends. I know you're a baseball fan. You're a fucking nerd. You play in fantasy baseball leagues. Tell your friends about Baseball is Dead. Tell your family about Baseball is Dead. We appreciate you. We'll be back tomorrow. And yeah, right? Yeah. Shout out to Cal Raleigh for coming on. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.
We gone.